Okay, this is the main reason I bought this DJI Action 4 because I was using the Go 3 Insta 360 Go 3 in my bedroom to film for my another channel or for myself because I don't normally use the phone here because it's sometime when I'm cleaning here it gets really dusty and I don't really want to use the phone in this environment, and plus don't want to bring my other cameras. So just quickly I can show you the quality of iPhone. That's how the iPhone 16 Pro Max record here, and this is the quality. So you can see the details in the shadows because under the cage is just quite dark. So I'm going to be using in-camera mics during the testing, and I will mention on the videos from which camera the voice is coming from. And I will film these cages, these 8 cages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cages. The bottom cages are pretty dark, so you will get an idea how the camera is performing. Also, what I will do, I will film in 25 and 50 frames. In UK, we use 25 and 50 frames per second compared to 24 or 60 frames per second. We're going to be recording in the highest possible resolution available on both cameras and in 25 frames per second. Selected here on DJI, 2.7K on Insta360 Go 3 in 25 frames per second. I'm gonna leave it to high. Then exposure, I'm gonna completely leave it on auto. Auto white balance, everything auto. Color profile, I'm gonna leave it on vivid. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna leave auto white balance, exposure auto, color D-Log M, the best one available, and I will be using the LUT afterwards. Noise reduction and everything I have left on -2. Stabilization, I'm not gonna be using the horizon balancing because I'm not using the same thing on Insta360. So I'm gonna leave it on wide or standard and Rocksteady Plus, and we got a higher stabilization on Insta360. So let's start it, and this will be 25 frames per second. Okay, both cameras are recording in auto mode, 25 frames per second, and the audio you are hearing is from the cameras itself. I'll mention on the screen that which audio you are listening to from which camera. I'm going to zoom in so you can see the darker areas a bit, how they're performing. I can't really judge at the moment from the screen. What I'll do, I'll talk about my birds a little bit. So these are some babies out on the cage floor. That's a new pair here, and that's another new pair. There you go. I'm going to move the camera slightly fast now so you can judge the quality. Again, it's 25 frames per second, and in this room I've got 3 tube lights. So 1, 2, and third one, and then I've got tube lights here in the breeding, in the flights. These are the baby flights, so you can see which cameras will be performing better when it's a high dynamic range. So it's a tube light on the top and the birds at the bottom, so you can see which one is performing better.
When you slow it down, throw off the rules like our shoes on the golden ground, and sway in the arms.
Now I'm going to run the same test, but what I'll do, I'll change it to 50 frames per second on Insta360 Go 3, because 50 frames per second is not available in the highest resolution of the camera, 2.7K. We need to go to 1440p, and then we can turn on 50 frames per second. Okay, again, everything is same in auto mode. That's fine. Come on. So let's change it to 50 frames per second. There you go. Let's do the same test again. So 50 frames per second. Both cameras, auto mode. Everything is auto. And audio you're listening from both cameras is on auto as well, without any editing. So this stage is the darkest stage. So you see the noise and the birds. The reason is it's darker because some birds they prefer to breed in darker areas, so that's why it's slightly darker in these areas. Now high dynamic situation. So again back to the same slide. 50 frames per second.
This is prime time, this is victory. We are the chosen ones, we're making history. We'll show you what we got, give everything we have. Every sweat, blood and tear, every last breath. We put up a fight until the last man, until the last day, until our last dance. We are here giving everything and more. To seize the opportunity, you know that we will score. Every day is dedication, I just wake up and I'm ready. Yeah, I'm practicing my patience, ain't nobody gonna break me, cause I'm coming here to score. I'm coming here to win, and I think I want some more. When they're in my system, so I'm running to the flames. Destiny is in my heart, so I gotta find a way. It's disaster, it's pain, it's always just been the same. But we will find a path, cause we chose this lane. We moving with the team, we do it all together. It's another journey, it's another chapter. But we are ready, we are born for this mission. So we execute with force until it completes the vision.
0.7K, 25 frames per second. Bring it to manual. I'm gonna adjust the shutter speed to, we are using 25 frames per second, so 1/50th shutter speed. This one I will leave to the flat profile, is the best one available, and I'll do a bit of a color editing. ISO, I'm not gonna leave it to auto, I'm gonna leave it to max 800. Oops. I'm gonna leave it to max 800 and see how the camera will adjust the ISO. Not gonna leave it to max, and narrow, fine, flat profile. White balance we'll leave it on auto because they do pretty good job, both the cameras, when it comes to white balance. So shutter speed we're controlling, ISO we are controlling, and recording this time on the best color profile available on both cameras. So let's go here. Do it 25 frames per second, and exposure manual, and I'll do the shutter speed to 1/50th, and I will leave the range between 100 and 800. Yeah, so the same, we left the 800 on Insta 360 Go 3, and the max ISO will be 800. It will switch between 100 and 800. So confirm that. Profile D-Log M 10-bit. Confirm, and the voice we can change it here. Noise cancellation high. So I'm going to use that one, and channel mono. Obviously, there's a lot of bird noise here. So, and then I will do the post processing. I'm not really quite sure if there is a better profile, sound profile available in the Insta 360. I can't seem to find here, but anyway, so that's how we'll do it. So 25 frames per second in the highest possible resolution available. So let's do that. In the manual mode now, and best color profile available on both cameras in their highest resolution in 25 frames per second. So you can see if there are different moving. Let's zoom into this boy. You can see the difference in color as well. Obviously, the Insta 360 Go 3 is a 8-bit camera compared to the Action 5 Pro is a 10-bit camera. Now let's go to the high. Now let's check the high dynamic scene, how they handle. So they are adjusting their own ISO between 100 and 800. So whenever there is a darker scene or lighter scene, they adjust it accordingly. There you go. I'm gonna pan the camera a bit fast so you can see.
We got the top down, cruising at 65. The engine's rolling, it's good to be alive. Out on the highway, oh yeah, we're free now. We watch the sun rise up, we watch the sun go down. On the open road, it's so inviting. On the open road, that's where you'll find me. Straight through the night, no matter where we go, it's good for the soul out here.
Let's change the setting to 50 frames per second, so 1440p. 50 frames per second. 50 frames per second. We're going to leave everything else the way it is. We're just going to change our shutter speed. So shutter speed is going to be 100 this time. Come on. Manual exposure, shutter speed, 100. Confirm. Let me recheck it. 50 frames per second on the highest available resolution on both cameras. You can see the noise. Now these top pages are not very dark. These are babies in the small, that white box. Because you put them there, sometimes the parents they can attack the babies. But this cage is pretty dark because of the milk trays in there. So as you can see. So you can check by yourself, judge by yourself the noise levels and everything. These are the darkest cages, so you can judge the noise level and which camera is giving the better footage. Now to the high dynamic range cage. In 25 frames auto mode, the Action 5 struggles in low light environments, producing footage that appears muddy and noisy. Surprisingly, the Go 3 delivers better looking results despite its lower 2.7K resolution compared to the Action 5's 4K. The auto white balance also differs, with the Action 5 leaning towards cooler tones, while the Insta 360 Go 3 with slightly warmer tones. When it comes to handling the highlights, the Action 5 performs slightly better, though the difference isn't big. Overall, I find the Go 3's footage more appealing in auto mode. Switching to 50 frames per second auto mode, the results are similar, even though the Go 3 is now limited to 1440p instead of 2.7K.
I still prefer its footage over the Action 5. However, when we shift to manual mode, the Action 5 really stands out. It delivers cleaner shadows, crisper colors, and shows a 1 to 2 stops more dynamic range compared to the Go 3. The improvements hold true even in 50 frames per second manual mode. As for audio, whether edited or raw, I prefer the microphone quality of the Action 5. It's important to note that this isn't a comprehensive comparison, but rather a test based on scenarios I plan to use these cameras in. There are areas where one excels over the other and vice versa. The Go 3's compact, discreet design is a big advantage, while the Action 5 has a better battery life, robust build quality, external storage options, a higher megapixel stills, and a 4K recording in 120 frames per second. However, if you are considering the Action 5 over Go 3, it's only worth it if you plan to shoot in manual mode and are comfortable with color grading your footage. In auto mode, the Go 3 often holds its own, largely because DJI has limited the Action 5's bitrate for battery efficiency and to prevent overheating. Hopefully, future firmware updates will unlock higher bitrate recording options. That's it for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.